Alright, it is currently 10:12 a.m. As you are aware, well, if you're aware, if you're paying attention to what I documented on this day in 2024, the fake sun is in perfect alignment with me, like it is outside of this front door. Like I took images at 9:48 a.m. where the fake sun's over the same building where it is at 4:30 p.m. like I showed you yesterday, where the fake sun remains after 5:30 p.m. outside of the same patio glass door. And you're looking at what is evidence of stalking with light: the shadow of my hand on this floor lamp, the shadow of my hand on this wall. This is the elements of monitoring. This is demonic. This is not happening with the ignorance of those who are gang stalking. You're looking at psychopaths who are gang stalking, the convenience of being in the engineer light, but this is a demon that's actually not even sleeping. That's the entity that's gang stalking. And also inside of this apartment where you're looking at engineer light that travels across the defendant's wall, as you've seen, the line of light that's here, and then it travels here, and then it's on a line on the ceiling inside of the kitchen where the Ontario PD are gang stalking by helicopter, as I documented at 12 in the afternoon, when engineer light just travels like cockroaches on the wall, and the demon is gang stalking in the adjacent bedroom in concert with all the rest of the entity under the fake sun that's remaining over the same address all day long, where engineer light fans across the cabinets and spans across the ceiling and engages in all manner of supernatural behavior like is documented while it's remaining stationary. Los Angeles, what is outside of my living room window at 10 o'clock on video is not reflecting off of the vehicles in the same parking lot where it's reflecting off of this vehicle at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon off of these two vehicles. This is the pattern of conduct of stalking, and the psychopath is monitoring at the same time while stalking in the path, and it's feigning sleep because the demon gets up at the drop of a dime with regard to monitoring what it is that I'm doing, and a psychopath acts like they're asleep while they're gang stalking. They're also engaged in monitoring my genitalia while you're looking at this engineer light, and the demons are engaged in what is evident. This is going toward their mental illness, this impossible light activity. And the engineer light, I'm capturing this video because the entity had sweeping engineer light across the ceiling while the psychopath, the mental health patient, is feigning being asleep. That's called relevant positioning. And while light activity is simultaneously underway, this has nothing to do with sunlight. This has nothing to do with sunlight. Okay, this has nothing to do with sunlight. It's underneath the patio at an angle underneath. That's scientifically impossible. And the fake sun has nothing to do with the engineered light that's covering everything outside, as at the same time the entity is keeping the fake sun over me like I captured on video on this day for the duration of the day, but specifically at 10 a.m. And I did take screenshots. It's already uploaded to the Google Drive. So while I'm on the couch and on my communication device, engineer light just scans through across the ceiling. And this is engineer light also on the ceiling right here. This is P.O.C. It's absolutely impossible light activity that is occurring on the inside while this light is going, it just moves across, remaining on the ceiling, like I've already documented. I've documented it in different locations across this wall while it travels. And this is the P.O.C. It's engineered light, stalking with light, which is the pattern of conduct. And you're being in the path, whether you want to feign being awake or asleep. She's going to a mental asylum. This is a sex offense because they're all monitoring my genitalia, and they're doing so with regard to the evidence that they are also keeping under surveillance, and they be the Ontario Police Department, the Ontario Mayor, Paul Leon, Alan D. WAPNER, who you know is the president of the gang stalking airport that uses commercial planes, gang stalking, flying over the fake sun that remains over the same sidewalk, over this building, in alignment to me. Where you see the fake sun right now on this side, I'll show it to you, has nothing to do with this engineer light here, while it's on this side of the front door. And after 4:30 p.m., like I showed you in images, where this fake sun is merely on this side of the same building at a lower elevation than the tree, remaining here, and then at 5:30 p.m. it's merely in alignment where I'm still looking at it through this patio glass door. This has nothing to do with the engineer light that fills Tracy Banks' apartment, and this is all engineer light. None of it is sunlight, okay? The entity is maintaining an ongoing pattern and a rapidly changing environment with regard to what is never the reflection of the sun in the first place, okay? None of this is sunlight either. Tracy Banks is going to a mental asylum, and the documentation of the engineer light is that which is the relevant for the diagnosis of the mental illness of those who are gang stalking. And so that's how you're going to use their terrorizing and demonic tactics to diagnose mental illness. It's psychopathic. It's also entirely delusional. It's very disturbing what the entity is using while they're demon possessed and while they're gang stalking someone, engaging in psychological torture. And the documentation is going to be used toward that, speaking to malice, and a gang stalker that is stalking in the path by being in the bed as though you're separate or distinct. You're not. That's a psychopath. That's delusional. That's Tracy Banks, license 9HUZ740, who you also see gang stalking in plain sight while this fake sun is still here. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon at the same property, reflecting off of the same vehicles in the same parking lot. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's 10:17 a.m. and this is documentation of this is the stationary because it's merely creeping across on the wall. The light that occurred was fanning in real time, scanning across the ceiling and the wall. And the defendant is right in the bedroom. That's terrorism and that's an unlawful threat. She's going to a mental asylum. I'm maintaining a diligent body of evidence because everybody's going to prison and mental asylums in units 33 through 64 while I'm documenting stalking via light. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's documentation also of malice and impunity, and AVANATH Capital Management is being prosecuted as well. It is 10:17 a.m. on April 6, 2025. This is P.O.C.